Hey, how's it going, friends? This is Zander Fryer with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about why you should never settle and you got to keep focusing on growing to your full potential. Now, tell me, when you were a kid, did your parents or anybody tell you that you could accomplish anything, that you could be an astronaut, you could be a professional baseball player, you could be the ballerina that was on stage at the Met, you could accomplish whatever you wanted to in your life? A lot of us believe this when we're kids, but somewhere during the process we start to unbelieve this. We start to develop these ideas and these beliefs that there's a lot of limitations around what's possible for us and what we can accomplish in this life. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever accomplished anything in your life that maybe prior to accomplishing it, you never thought that was possible? Have you ever accomplished anything when you're like, wow, I really did not think that I could do that? Most of you probably have. Now, if you've accomplished that one thing that you never thought was possible, why do we keep doubting that we could do more? Up to this point in my career, I've started to accomplish so many amazing things that I never thought were possible. The millions we've created in the business, the home that we live in, the family that me and my wife are starting to build, the freedom that I have, the ability to travel, the financial capabilities, the ability to give back and change lives. So many things that I never thought were possible that at this point, I've started to stop questioning what's possible and just start getting curious. But most of us settle for a life that we didn't sign up for in the beginning. We settle for mediocre, we settle for average, we settle for what everybody else is doing. Why do we do this? Is it fear? Fear of the unknown, fear of taking risks, fear of being judged and criticized by others? Of course. Because doing something different means that people are going to judge and criticize you. But if you don't want a life of average, then you have to do something different. So why else do we settle? Is it because of the people around us? The people around us, when they see us go for different, they go for more, they pull us back down because they reflect their fears, they reflect their own insecurities back on you. Of course it's the people around us that cause us to settle. Is it our own comfort that causes us to settle? Of course. We as human beings are evolutionarily designed to want to be comfortable. We don't want to get out of our comfort zone. We don't want to do things differently. Think about this. If you were ancient man and you were trying to avoid being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, you'd probably want to stick to the trails and the ravines that you know, right? You don't want to go off the beaten path because if you go off the beaten path, there might be something that could kill you there, like a saber-toothed tiger or a short-nosed bear. I don't know if you checked. We don't really have to worry about those in the modern era. But still, our comfort zone keeps us from the life that we were truly meant to live. Ed Milet once said that when I die, I want to meet my maker, and I want my maker to show me that perfect vision of the life that I was meant to live. I want them to show me that version of me, and I want to know that person very, very well. I want to know that I never settled. I want to know that I always pushed to make that life happen, because only then would I consider life a success. Tom Bilyeu once told me the most important question you can ever ask yourself is not whether or not you succeeded or failed, but did you show up or did you settle? So on my mirror every single day for about 3 years, I wrote, did you show up today? Because it didn't matter whether or not I succeeded. It didn't matter whether or not I made it. I hit my goals. I accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish or not. The only thing that mattered was, did I show up or did I settle? And any day that I settled was a day that I could never get back. Because there's one resource in this lifetime that you cannot get more of, and that's your time. So I want to give you 3 quick tips to make sure that you never settle in life moving forward. Because whatever you've done in the past, today's the day that you can change and make a difference. Humans are the only animals in the animal kingdom that can be one thing yesterday and a totally new thing today. But you have to make the decision to change. So the 3 things, let's get into them. Number 1, you got to create a really strong vision of where you want to get to fight that internal desire to sit in your comfort zone. This creates what we call cognitive dissonance. Now let me tell you a story about how this works. When I first quit my 9-to-5 job, I started doing visualizations and affirmations of me making $100,000 a month as a coach. Now, I had never made a dime as an entrepreneur before. I didn't have a network, I didn't have an email list, I'd never coached before, never been an entrepreneur, but I created this vision around where I wanted to be. Now, the brain works in amazing ways. It does not know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real event. So the more that I visualized myself on stage talking about my first $100,000 a month as a coach, the more my brain started to make it real. And it created this internal tension between what my mind thought was reality and what really was reality. Now, this internal tension is like a rubber band. And if you hold on to this vision and you do not let go, there's only one way to release that tension. Reality has to come meet that dream. But what most people do is they create this vision of where they want to get to, and they create this tension of where they are and where they want to get to. And it's tension, it's hard, it's tough, it's scary to them. So what do? They give up on their vision, and it snaps back to reality. Do not be that person. Create that vision, hold that vision, and force yourself to create reality to match that vision. The second thing that I want you to focus on to make sure that you never settle is kind of a funner one. Literally, stop taking life so seriously. Have a little bit of fun. The reality is, if everything in life is about reaching a goal, it's about achieving a result, well then, you're gonna push yourself to a certain point, and then once you get to that point, you're gonna stop because it was about the end result. But if you start to make the process more fun, you start to fall in love with the process, then you're never gonna stop loving the growth, and you're never gonna stop growing. Nick Saban, the head coach for the Alabama football team, one of the winningest coaches of all time in college football, says, "I don't care about the result. I just care that my team focuses on the process and falls in love with the process. They do the work, they love doing the work, they get used to doing the work, they make it a habit to the point where they never stop. So then when you hit a goal, it doesn't matter because you've fallen in love with the process and you're gonna keep growing and you're gonna keep going and you're never gonna settle. If you follow this process, you're gonna stop thinking about, oh, I'm gonna relax when I get to XYZ point, and you're just gonna start to get curious. What's possible? Where can I go? How far can I take this? Because I'm having a blast along the way. Why would I want to stop? Start to get curious. Start to have fun in the growth process, and you'll never settle again. And the number 3 thing that I want you to focus on to make sure that you never settle again, one of my friends once told me, he said, Zander, your environments dictate your destiny, but you dictate your environments. Well, surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most important pieces to never settling. Now, I have a 30% rule. I like to surround myself with people that are above me. So whenever I'm in a room, I like to be in the bottom 30% of that room when it comes to whatever standard we're talking about here, my health and wellness status, my financial status. If I'm in a mastermind that's about growing my business, I want to be in the bottom third. And 2/3 of the people are above me that I can look up to and I can learn from. Now, I don't want to be at the very, very bottom because I don't want to be so small that I'm like, oh my God, I don't belong here, right? But you want to be about 1/3 there so you have a lot of people to look up to and a lot of people to grow into, and no matter what area you're looking at. So you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that push you and grow you. Now, the people that I spend the most time with, it's because they bring me value in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's growing their business, like one of my good friends, Rob, or one of my good friends, Craig, that never stop pushing themselves in their business and in their personal lives. Or when it comes to growing myself as a husband and a future father, like one of my friends, Vince, or one of my friends, Chris. They're some of the best parents, and they have multi-million-dollar businesses, but they're some of the best parents that I've ever met. I want to surround myself with those types of people, because they push me to grow. They push me to be better in every area of my life. That's number 3. You got to surround yourself with people that push you to become a better person. Now, we all say that we want to be successful in life. We all say that we want more money, we want more freedom, we want more impact, we want more love, we want more joy, we want more happiness, whatever it might be. But then most of us settle. We settle for mediocre. We settle for mediocre relationships. We settle for mediocre careers. We settle for mediocre lives, mediocre amounts of freedom, mediocre accomplishments in our life. You don't have to. It all starts with a choice to never settle. So let's start with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button below and let me know. Comment below if there's anything, any future topics that you want me to cover in any future videos. And do not forget to hit subscribe below so you never miss any other great videos. And we'll see you in there.